When there's $1,000 on the line, you've got to whip out the broken civs. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Game number 3 of this best of 5 to decide 3rd place in this $25,000 LAN. And we've got Louis MT and Wham bringing out the outrageous civs, the ones probably most complained about by players. HRE for Wham up against Louis MT's Roos. This is an interesting one, actually, because you go back to, you guys remember the 2TC meta? Roos hard countered HRE, actually. Do you guys know that? So Roos used to hard count HRE because they go 2TC, and then they'd walk villagers out to build up palisades around the relics. Palisades that have 2.5k HP, you're just not breaking that. More recently, HRE are the ones with a bit more temperament. They were playing quite well as the denial for pro scouts in the previous metas. And the current one, if both sides rush Castle Age, your monks are unhindered because Roos players don't go 2TC. They can't really afford to wall these up. And to make matters worse, let's say you play for a pro scout's fast castle time yourself. It's good, but as long as HRE have enough sheep, their gathering rates will compete with deer gathering by being on sheep. What I'm curious about is whether Wham will be going for a pro scout's timing, whether he'll also be going for Minework aggression, because Minework has been growing in popularity quite a bit, actually. I think we've seen it 2 or 3 times in this tournament. Yeah, super effective strategy, actually. The interesting thing about Minework is that ever since the addition of the extra armor now for the Black Riders, and also the change of adding in the Cistercian Abbeys that gives mini Archon effects, losing Archon isn't that big of a deal anymore. We're still going to see it in this game, but like, mark my words, as we continue to trend deeper in 2025, you're going to see a lot more Minework play. It's surprising how effective it is for a timing attack. The reason why Wham doesn't want it here, what's your timing? Right? Unless you're going to go for a Dark Age Rax play to kill the hunting cabins, what is your timing against Roos? This is a civ that can go 20 minutes into a game without touching gold. There's no other civ in the game that can brag that to this extreme. I know someone's going to say China, but like China, they will touch gold because of the no Imperial official build, right? But there's technically an exposure point there. But as we saw, Louis MT is 2.5 minutes in this game going Feudal Age. He never touched a gold vein. Courtesy of the bounty system. Archon on the way. So, wood plus gold, it keeps the door open for Wham to just rush castle if he gets enough food. This is not enough food. Oh, God. Oh, my. I mean, he just got unraveled there, didn't he? It's 14 sheep to 7. Good Lord. Wham's pulling more people over to gold, so I think this might be a pro scouts play. The deer are really close to his base, so on top of the fact that he's going to be able to gather gold at an accelerated pace, like it's feasible. The weird thing, though, is if it's pro scouts, why is he not buffing the gold already? Oh, no, he's going to play denial. So these are the type of games where, like, I kind of scratch my head. Is the plan now for Wham to go farms early? Because the alternative is he's going to go onto deer. But if he goes on a deer, this amplifies the idea that Minework would have been pretty good. I don't know. I think it's one of those beta details where we highlighted why you don't really want to do Minework against Roos. But then with the game state, if you now have to go out into deer, you didn't really get that much value out of Archon. But yeah, it's definitely pro scouts. I like that. The reason why pro scouts is really nice here, with accelerated gathering rate, like you can actually contest the timing of Roos. The only issue is you're going to be behind slightly when it comes to the scout timing, because technically Louis can start spamming scouts now. Right, like he can go up to 7, 8 if he wants to. Which is why, by the way, I think Wham went for the Spearman. To try and make sure that Louis can't just rush 8 scouts, so that they 50-50 split the deer. 50-50 split here, though, for Wham. I feel like you're kind of content with that, but you prefer to be able to snatch this close to your stack away. And marching drills is a nice timing, right? Remember, once you tech up, you get the extra movement speed. They nerfed it a while ago. You're still faster in Dark Age, but you get the full 10% movement speed once you reach left Feudal. Yeah, and he will scare him away, but this is fine. Louis has got 30 seconds to react to this play. Ooh. Is that a misclick? Why is he building spears against spears? Ah, so Louis is trying to resist the obvious because he understands that if this is spears, it should be archers or horsemen follow-up, most likely horsemen, right? Because like the logic is, if I show spears, you should react archers, so I react horsemen. So he's just trying to get ahead of the inevitable counterplay. And it's going to work out pretty sick. I don't think he scouted the pro scouts detail. Maybe I'm wrong, though. He might have seen that many on gold and been like, that's suspicious. And then reacted by going spear, archer. Because the reason why you need both of them is if you know your opponent's going pro scouts, then you know he has access to horsemen. That's the very big difference between Roos and all other pro scout civs. Is for Roos... Well, I guess Malians as well, because they don't actually have a real horseman. But with Roos... If they go for pro scouts, they don't need to drop a stables at all. Yeah, that's why they were given the temptation of giant knights, right? Like, gotta get them to build stables somehow. Wow, I'm mirroring archers now. This is gonna get quite fireworky, shall we say. Both of these civs have kind of comparative buffs on the wood anyway. Because the Archon's going to burn through this wood quickly, and once it does, you're not buffed or you're not efficient. Meanwhile, for the Roos, once the wooden fortress is up, you're getting 20% more wood flat. As long as you keep lumber camps extending in range. Then you add in the Golden Gate detail, and there's a way where Louis can actually kind of compete on Feudal. I think ideally for Louis, he just wants to compete enough to get his deer home, and then play the next stage. Because then you get to things like horse archers, where you can try to raid HRE as they're starting to play out on the map with their villagers. But you also then are able to get the horse archers in position to stop the relics from being grabbed. HRE is just so frustrating with spears more than any other civ, though. It's the fact that, like, for most civs, if they misplay slightly with spearmen, you can punish them. But you can't do that against HRE with this movement speed. You can't do that either. What is that? Marv with the 5 gifted subs, you legend. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you're having a good day. Enjoy your gifted subs, folks. Don't forget to renew them personally after they run out. Marv won't always be there to restock you. He has been a legend. 181 gifted subs. You absolute marvel. Ooh. Okay. Louis buying. Has he been watching too many CSO games? Yeah, it reeks of CSO a little bit whenever I see Roos thinking about massing knights, but this has been growing in popularity. And in fairness, Wham hasn't kept producing spearmen. He's just strictly gone archers. He's also gone pretty heavy-handed on the pro scouts. 7 scouts now. And he doesn't reveal it either. I love that. Wham was trying to be very smart with his scouts. I love this. It wasn't just about pro scouting. He was looking at what's coming. But he doesn't know about stables. By the time he sees it, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 knights, which is enough to break the archers. Good trade for now from Wham, though. Louis maybe overextending slightly. Yeah, it's the movement speed every time. You can't just walk in, walk out. Like, most civs you can unless they've got knights, but with this civ, on the demon civs, it feels like they're just always able to pursue and punish. Still, he's losing spearmen. I think of all the things Louis could lose, this is the most ideal. And that does reveal the knight. So yeah, Wham, it should be a full walk home. Louis just has to be careful not to overextend with the knight, because movement speed, etc. Wham. I mean, can we just address the elephant in the room? He's got more army and he's going castle age. Meanwhile, Louis put everything into this. I mean, in fairness, it's the difference in cost in knights, but even then, it just shows you how good HRE eco is. Because remember, for Roos, they're able to get, at this stage, soon, it's about to be an extra 10% gathering rate off the deer. But for Wham, he's getting a 35% extra gathering rate on the deer. Regnant's coming in behind now. Looking at the relic positioning. Louis, he just... Okay, I thought he used to select all army. That would have been rough. But he has the right idea. He's moving out on the flanks, just trying to keep an eye on these relics. Wham, even eyeballing this far backside to see if he can sneak for this. This is great as well, actually. Look at the spawn. It's all back spawning berries for Louis. So there's a potential for him to move out there a lot quicker than normal for a Roost player because you had to split the deer. You guys remember, earlier on we saw Wham Beastie game in which Wham didn't have to leave his base for ages because he got free 3.5 deer stacks. Roost might need buffs. Dude, Roost, like, I don't think Roost necessarily need buffs. People just need to explore new build styles. The biggest problem with Roost that's been haunting them is that most players have been trying horse archers. Like, people have been doing horse archers so long. Now we're seeing experimentation with things like archers or knights, but this is more unrefined territory, shall we say. Compared to what we're seeing from HRE, this type of mutation hasn't been played that much in recent years, I want to say. Like, last 2 seasons at least, it's been, hey, I'm going to go castle age. Well, why are you going to go? Because I'm Roos. Oh, okay. Like, do you want to give more reason to that? No. Okay. Wham now with the knights. Louis about ready to follow suit into the next stage, but the relics are what's going to concern me a little bit. Those south side ones in particular. Good read by Louis. He's keeping the scout ready, eyeballing both the berries and the relic. I think Wham's going to have to do this one at a time, isn't he? Good news there is, like, Louis, even if he rushes into monks, you can't really rush into them. They take a very long time to produce compared to the prelates. High trade house coming in. I don't... Do you guys even want to guess numbers on that? Like, is -3 an option? Like, that is... What is the polite way to refer to this? Tree lines like this is why we're all going to run out of oxygen. There you go. I think that's the nicest way to say how I feel about that high trade house. It's not a great one. But he's worried about knights coming across, right? So he has to play it contained. It almost feels like he didn't fully prep for this. I think there might have been room if he deleted the lumber camp to slide it right in here, but maybe these 2 trees here would have stopped him. I think the meta is going way more towards feudal play rather than fast castle, which Roos are pretty good at. Yeah, but Roos at that stage kind of feel like a second-tier French, right? Like, if you're talking about feudal all-ins, like, we had this earlier on where a player was massing a ridiculous number of knights, but you always get worried there because Roos knights, man, I'm eventually going to have them die. Whereas French knights, like, hey, very expensive, but overall better than Roos knights and heals as well. So I think Roos, it's still about, you can feudal aggro, but you're looking for castle. Whereas French, you know, they can... I think French are probably the most capable civ at rolling a game in feudal. 1 relic home, 2 more coming. Wham. This one looks like it's definitely not going to make it back. Where's the other one? Oh, it's already in. Well played. So Wham does get 2 home. First of the warrior monks has been queued up. But this one is definitely coming home as well. So Wham is going to make it 3. Potentially 4. Especially the archer there. Louis intentionally tries to pull the archer away so the spearman can do the business. Yeah, even the wolf joining in. But if he just roll lulls now, it's fine. Instead, he's just going to go for the snipe and save the wool lull for later. Where did this just come out of? Wham went from very reserved, very scared to get the hell off my lawn. Sorry, let me do that in pro. Get the hell off my lawn! There you go. Guys, that's actually what Wham sounds like after you get a few drinks in him and he drops the accent. Bet you didn't know that. It completely paints Wham in a different light when you just imagine him complaining about things in that voice. I don't know why mangonels are so crap. And crossbows never win the late game. And castles, I don't know, they're like good and bad at the same time. Makes no sense. Sorry, Wham. Ooh, sorry, Louis. Nice time. Can he get the kills? Nice club follow-up. Gets rid of... Was that 5? Yeah, he lined it up almost perfectly to get as many kills as possible. Other 3 will at least make it in. Monk on the north side does get intercepted. Okay. But... yeah, warrior monks on the way. And this is the trade-off. Wham decided to attack Eco, so now he's exposed on the relic win condition. He's marching even deeper. Wham isn't done yet. He wants better trades. Louis, being a cheeky git over here, is finally going to get a worker kill. The first one of this game, actually. The rest of the knights are going to circle around and try to sneak in unnoticed. Not like to be feasible. In the meantime, the dive comes in. More kills connected. Wham strikes down 2. Make it 3. Maybe not. Okay, he actually does get it. That garrison spot was a bit weird. Out of time alongside it as well. High trade house, by the way, was 70 gold. That is... Let's not talk about that. Louis. Wow. He can't dive. Like, that's crazy. The knight count is already 8 on the defensive. So, Louis just has to take the punch to the face, and he can't really do anything about it. Wham is still just farming up the knights. Definitely lost a lot of value on that dive. But between the idle time, the kills, the fact that maybe he gets the relic. No, okay, Louis is going to take that away from him at least. Overall, I think Wham, like, the only detail to be unhappy about is that relic loss. Because that relic loss is the type of one that kind of just seals the deal. Right? 4 relic HRE is pretty nuts. So props to Louis for doing something to keep some hope here in game number 3. Both have archers, so you can't make spears to counter knights. Not really. The problem with going spears now is, like, yes, both of them have archers, and it's also, it can work, but you need a lot of food. So you don't really want to be doing spears until you got more farms. Like, Wham at this point is up to 9, and, I mean, Louis, we don't talk about his farms. Right? He's playing pocket resources. So just trying to raw knights is more efficient. From Louis' POV, his thought process is, if I just get towards Boy's Fortitude, my knights win. From Wham's POV, his better economy means that he should have more knights. And yeah, we will just get the crossbows now, which is just a lot better to counter out. It's 5 Warriors tech as well. Love that from Wham. What's the point of having archers at all? They look cool. Have you seen the French ones and their Imperial feather hats? Archers actually, like, in the current metas, archers are a lot better in the hyper late game than they used to be. Don't sleep on archers. Archers are really good in Feudal and can be really good in Imperial. I don't, like... Dude, are you angling for an archer buff? Are you secretly, like, descendants from Robin Hood? Archers are fine. Like, when we interviewed... I distinctly recall the words being used by Dimu in EGC Master Summers. We're in the middle of an archer meta when we interviewed him. That was it a month ago? Month and a half ago? So yeah, archers are fine. Right now, they actually did pretty well there. Crossbow plus archers. Shut down the knights. Louis MT. Wasteful. Wasn't paying attention. Seems he was distracted. Wham. Once again, just sneaking into that base. Not going to find a target clearly this time, but he's going to keep charging deeper. And Wham is everywhere. And Louis, everything gets held up by a tiny wall. I'm impressed, actually, by how much control Wham is maintaining here. Not in the backside, at least going to get shut down before he can do significant worker damage. But the idle times alone, man. I mean, you see what Wham's up to, guys. It's going to be Imperial. Boy's Fortitude there, but even with it, you see Louis' hesitation to even engage. How is Louis not just dead in 5 minutes? Probably raiding. One of the negatives of Wham's position here is he's going to be going Imperial Age with only 1,000 gold in reserve. He has got 3 Regnet's relics, which is pretty good, but Imperial techs are really expensive, so he's going to have to come out of the base over here and over here. And the stone gathering, you know, it's not usually intended for a keep drop. It's usually about getting outpost emplacements in. Yo, what's up, Killer Stat? Thank you, the Prime. Appreciate you, mate. Remember, guys, Prime subs are absolutely free. You've already paid for it. You gave Bezos the money, so why not give me the honey? Give me the freebie. Smart lad. And yes, archers are so damn cheap. And like I said, in the late game, for what they cost, they're impressive in what they can do. Did anyone ever try that Terminator RTS from about a year ago? I was sent a key. I think it was like on an old website, and because I didn't do coverage, they were like, oh, we're not going to send you keys anymore. I was like, I couldn't do coverage because I was at an event. I think it came out like around Red Bull or something. What was that about Louis not having walls? We're fixing that. Oh, this is going to go late. Because Wham's now just going to hunker down and play full eco. Why wouldn't you? If you can go up to 120 eco pop, you would. Someone's going to be like, no, I wouldn't. You would. Like, if you're like me, you probably have 4,000 wood in reserve because you'd just be rallying there and couldn't be asked. But yeah, we've got full hunker down. Walls up on both sides. Roost, HRE, both pretty solid in the late game. HRE recently receiving a buff, a little bit of an identity via the castles, but it's past the Swabia, so I'd be surprised if we get Black Rider spam, especially against Streltsy and Roost Knights. Wall's gonna get broke. Army will be there to react though, and Louis. Whoa, boy, whoa. Think twice about diving deeper. Yeah, I mean, you're getting ready to attack. If you go in like that, lose all the knights, it's a counter attack, and you just die under the pressure. Spasskaya, a very different choice here, though. We don't see it as often. That's going to give Louis access to stone walls if he chooses. Also just going to be a lockdown on the 8k gold that he'd need for the late game. Bruce, one of those civs that just hoovers up gold, really. A wonder victory is worth 2 game points? No. I'd rather not encourage people camping in a corner for 40 minutes to build a wonder. That's exactly why I stopped watching free-for-all stuff. Free-for-alls are boring for that exact reason. Ah, but Louis means he's not getting this discount on the high army. Also, kind of problematic because bombards in particular with the high army has been impressive. The fine-tuned guns means that you can actually one-hit kill hand cannons, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, sorry, it's 65, and then you get gunpowder. Yeah, I think with gunpowder as well, you're able to do the one-hit kill. Yeah, we just don't really see it anymore. I'm sorry, not gunpowder. Am I forgetting something? Fine-tuned guns, maths is 55, goes up to 65. Then 50, you 115. So you almost one-hit kill hand cannons. Won't have that option now. Yeah, I swear, fine-tuned guns is such a slept-on tech. We've seen a few players make great use of it. But obviously without the landmark, not an option here. With the 8k gold locked in, Louis MT, he really is subscribing to CSO at this point, isn't he? We've got knights, and would you believe it? More knights. Oh, wow, what a diverse strategy. Yo, what's up, Holy Punisher? Thank you for the Prime sub, mate. I must have missed that. Thank you, thank you. Oh, dude, this is so sick. I actually love that we're seeing this. It's the pole axis. The pole axis, remember, that makes the Roost Knights a force to be reckoned with in the late game. Yeah, it's kind of like a mini elite army tactics for your knights, really. It's very expensive, which is why most players don't go for it. Scaling knights in late game is difficult, unless you want to go trade eventually, which is not something Roost do well. Unless your name's Recon. Wham's reaction is just going to be crossbows. Crossbows, knights, no spears. In fact, whoa, he goes into the center. Oh, I don't think he saw this Pascal. This is the first time he spotted it. He's going to have to rally troops to defend. He's got these knights coming around now. He's going to delete the wall to get in faster here. As the Roost Knights do go hunting, Wham is going to look to mirror. Yeah, but he didn't bring much burn power. So it's going to take him a while to get in. In the meantime, the Roost Knights with the extra health and damage are much scarier here. As long as they have numbers in their favor, which currently they most definitely do. Wham, panic rushing, more knights out to contest. There's the cannon placements. The arrow fire should be enough to eventually stabilize him. The question is it going to cost you economy in the meantime? And the answer is a resounding yes. Look at how quickly he disintegrates the HRE defenders. Diving everywhere now, looking for those worker kills. Wham only just broke through the wall. These knights, still so much effective HP left. Nice with the charge in, more workers. Being hit up, idled up. Wham with 50 idle workers right now. Actually, it's more than that. You got a bunch running for their lives right now. His entire eco lead is in despair. And wham, he hasn't found anything. Finally, something for his troubles. A small scurry of workers heading for the north side, but the rest of the economy has moved closer to the Spaskai defense. Louis, has he achieved enough though? Because the knights, they're starting to get worn down. There's only 6 left in the base. The worker lead stands at a pretty 20. Wham! Definitely felt the pain of idle. But does not feel the despair of defeat here. No, he's the one with a standing army after all that. Louis just burnt a hole in his pocket the size of Berlin. How do you go to Knights again with 200 food income? Why are we going to Knights again with 200 food income? That actually might be a saving grace, by the way. He's got, what, 2k food here? That's kind of crazy. More. In a game where he's not got that many farms, he's at 18. The deer might be the thing that keeps Louis alive, whereas he'd otherwise be dead. Still, his raiders are dead. Wham definitely has the food advantage. 40 farms. Cistercian Abbey'd up. Doesn't it look so pretty now when you watch HRE? Now that we're able to Sim City proper. Yeah, could use more of that Arkan though, mind you. What an expensive die for Louis. This is the predicament that PCSpecialist puts you in though. PCSpecialist has like 2 approaches, right? You either are able to flood them and shut them down before they get online, or you're playing for a timing where you mirror the size. How do you mirror the size, right? Like that's difficult. In a way, he's kind of gradually achieving it by diving, but this was an expensive fight, man. It's not like we're talking about a 35 farm plus Roost player right now. He's getting there gradually, but taking longer than he'd like. Wow. Now just getting Horseman ready. So he's focused on raiding. He's got infinite food. The wood is the concern. Gold, you'd rather just start stockpiling it for extra techs, and then also down the line you can think about things like maybe a hand cannoneer switch if there's a timing. Maybe even a return to Knights. After all, he did elite them up. Yeah, Knights is actually surprising. You know, we talked about how good Poleaxes is. If you have Prelates, HRE are just as good. Remember, HRE, 15% damage buff. A Knight hits pretty hard. 29 base damage. So 15% increase there is on par, actually, with the Poleaxes. So the difference then is in the health, which is the Boy's Fortitude giving 25 extra, and then goes up to like, what, 40 because of the biology. Or 35, 30-ish. But the interesting thing with that is the armor value that you get from Inspired Warriors tech. The Inspired Warriors armor is pretty important there in the maths. Because if a fight is going to last, what, 10 hits, which is feasible between knights, then you're pretty much neck and neck with Roost Knights fully equipped. And, oh my god, we said we weren't going to get them. Guys, it's Black Rider time. Yes! Okay, now I'm really upset we did not get mine work. Guys, chill. What are you on about Siegeless? Look, the siege right here is a cannon. Actually, we do have siege works coming, so Louis is prepping a switch. Interesting pivot. With more stone coming as well. He also got Tithe Barns, if I'm not mistaken, so he's generating stone gradually in this game. Yeah. Not a bad idea, actually. Just lock in the gold, lock in the stones, go up to 4 or 5 of these castles. All of a sudden, you've got hand cannoneers on horseback. Reminder, Black Riders, they're expensive, but they are so worth it. 45 base damage, 225 health, and they've got 4 base armor. They don't die easily. Not to mention the caracol ability. Great for chasing this down. We do finally have biology. That's something that's been missing for a long time from WAM. Kind of surprisingly so. Knights are stopping the wall up. And we've been here before. WAM always brings barely any torch power to these breakthroughs. Yeah, it kind of leaves him vulnerable every time, right? Freaking Black Riders. He's activated Caracol. You move quicker with this, and you also are able to shoot on the go. Yeah, not much damage right now because it's only 2, but imagine this when it gets to 10, 15. As long as you micro it, Louis is going to struggle to ever catch you. Shout out to the devs for really just making them remind me of Dragoons from Cossacks. It's always the reference I make. That unit was absurd in Cossacks. Could break anything. I feel like I remember a bunch of people in multiplayer banning mercenaries because of that unit. Because you could just spam them early on to beat everything. Didn't need many of them. Dive through the base. We've been here before. Wham! This time, though, might actually find someone to nibble on. Oh, wait, no. There's another wall, guys. Guys, no, no. Not again. These fortified walls, man. Takes an error to break through them, feels like. No, he's just going to camp on the farms, I guess. Like, screw it. What's the point? Might as well just stop your food income. We do have 2 DC from Louis, so he's been doing a good job of closing the worker gap. He's still ridiculous lead, though. Louis, we have archer switch up. No, this... Okay, it's just for crossbows. Incendiary arrows is on the way. It's just the archers he had from earlier haven't died yet. Oh, it should be fixed now. Dive in. Louis MT looks to defend his base as all the farms are on fire. The workers run back out to them. A little bit early for my liking, but it's going to be fine. The knights are able to brute force this away. Archers should be able to carry this now up against the crossbows. Definitely expensive, though. If you're at least able to 2-to-1 on the trade, the crossbowman will have lived long enough to make a good trade. What is up, Faye? Thank you very much for the raid. Shout out to Faye. I believe I glanced her doing 12 hours, you absolute monster. Yeah, we weren't quite at that on Thursday and Friday. I think we were at 9. Although, we talk as much as you meme, so. Different challenge. Crossbows are being mopped up, though. And, okay. Louis just baited me big time. I was like, we have trade. No, we don't. We have houses. We have very comical houses from Louis. These are bronze level houses. There's a bronzer in chat going, Louis just like me. Dear oh dear though, Louis. You say he's just like you. Do you mean he's losing? Because he just lost, what, 10 workers at least in that? Oh, I think he was up to 90 before. So Louis definitely took the hits from that raid. And WAM just has so much economy built up behind this. Would a Swabian nerf be good for HRE? They did already nerf it. It used to get a discount for the tech up. They got rid of that, right? It's still maybe a little bit too good, but I don't know. Like, I see HRE players doing Elsback now. I think the Black Rider introduction was smart. They basically buffed the underwhelming Elsback to get people to do something else. Oh, sorry. Yes, right. They didn't get rid of it. They reduced the discount, right? Was it 15% to 10% or something? I think just get rid of the discount. Swabia doesn't need a discount at all. It's fine without a discount. Dive in. Hello. Bold to be taking on the Spaskai. Can we maybe get some siege? We have 1 Culverin in this game and 1 Bombard. How are we 35 minutes in this game with 1 player having a castle landmark, the other one having 2 castles, and yet we're now only getting siege? This is absurd. I think they've realized that raiding isn't going to change anything, and they just need to fight each other over the gold. Well, I just said raiding's going to do nothing, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Louis is about to do. The Knights steer to the south. Oh, sorry, yeah, from 20% to 10%. Thank you. Wait, it was 20%? My brain always just thought it was 15% without looking at the maths. 20% is insane. House the Swabia should never have been a 20% discount. That was a huge balancing oversight. I think part of it is devs didn't want people to build Elsbach because Elsbach is like insanely oppressive. In general, defensive landmarks aren't, in my opinion, a good addition to AoE 4. But in particular, the Elsbach one, with E-repairs, everything else, just made it impossible to break, usually. Sky, not so impossible. Corvin slowly sieging it down. I think we're looking at the death cries of Louis. His Knights is kind of good, right? Like, maybe? If he can get the fight the right way, sure. The Sky is definitely helping out a lot. But my big concern is the food and the gold. Could I see a world in which Louis wins the next fight? Yes. Can I see a world in which Louis can afford to win the next fight after that? No. His food income just isn't there. Yeah, and also, you've got mass melee against mass melee ranged. So as you just saw, when you try to poke, you lose. The only way you win is if you hard commit. Wham. Oh, man, he just keeps baiting him into it. Look at the Caracol. Look at the Inspired effect. An extra 7 damage on these Black Riders. Yeah, reminder, that's old gunpowder, basically. Don't let anyone tell you Inspired Warriors tech sucks on HRE. Is it more micro-intensive? Can that be annoying? Sure. Is it good? Absolutely. Knights are running scared, man. I think Louis' idea of going into Mangonels, I can see the thought process here, but I'm a little bit worried your opponent's just going to, like, Knight plus Black Riders, too. Well, nice attempt at a backstab. Crossbows are being reached by the Mango, actually. Louis, we talked about the expense of these type of fights. It needs to be a good trade, and it looks like the numbers are in his favor, so he will munch down. Takes out the first wave. Remember what we said was the problem, though. It's wave 2. And wave 2 is so much more lean. It's mass spearman. With elite army tactics on the way. Oh, Louis. If it was knight on knight again, he probably holds with those type of fights. Now it's mass spear crossbows. Everything to counter. So for Louis, the way he wins this is great positioning and great mango shots. Problem with that is, I'm trying to think if there's a harder civ to hit with mangoes well than HRE on average. The units are so fast. The spearmen with the march drills, crossbows too. Nice bait there. Wham, just dragging him towards the castle, turning around for the shots. Although we're not really seeing this count inflate, are we? It's been stuck at about 30 knights the entire time. He's just outnumbered. So reluctant to give it over, though. Understandably so. Best of fives can be merciless from this type of position. It's not like you threw out a trash civ and your opponent threw out a good civ, right? You both flexed civs that have been considered to be quite dominant in competitive. Workers are going to be ignored. He goes straight after the siege. Louis, where's the remax of knights? He's switching. He's trying to go archers into spears. Which, I mean, makes sense as a counterplay, but the problem is the timing here. It's going to cost you the mangoes. Full army blob goes in. Louis empty. Cannot stand his ground. All knights gone. Mangoes to die as well. And you got to feel that that is curtains. I mean, maybe the mangoes get away from this. But wham. With Black Riders, I mean, you can just start to spam them in again. You can get up to 15 of them and dive into the economy. But now he actually goes for knights. The Speskaya that is held firm for so long no longer can. Culverin sniping it down. Once this falls, the floodgates open. And Tartaros shall eat well on souls. Miracle hold there by Louis to keep all the siege alive. I think maybe one bombard went down. The rest holds on though. The tricky part, though, is... Can you guys see the weakness of Louis' composition now? Wham does. Horseman solves the transition and the core of the build. Louis going knights again, but we've beaten that like a dead horse, right? Like, it's been a miracle the way he's been able to hold on, but this many knights, if you could actually get 20 knights out per minute, you do pretty well, right? But that's a lot of food. That's over 1,000 extra food than he actually has. And that's without doing anything else. Yeah, one surprise to me actually is that Louis MT is missing precision crossbreeding. It would have been an extra 200 food, but like, he needs every little bit he can get right now. Backstab attempt. Knights with the body blocks. Coverans are just going to dive in looking for the mango kills, but the siege works will protect them. Game that feels like should have been over once or twice already. Wham, it's always the coup de grace that isn't quite there. Could he find it now? Horsemen, they get through. They get onto the siege weapons. Tanky as they are, they are not tanky enough. Bombard down. Mango's now to fall. And Louis MT, this has got to be it. A draining game number 3. A struggle for survival. Almost an hour. Wham. Stays the course, stays ahead. Louis definitely had some sick timings, especially that night dive onto the farms. But the poleaxe is just showing you the potential of Roost Knight spam in the late game. In the end, the economy cannot keep up with the demand of war. This is the problem of poleaxes. The funny part is it wasn't even gold that done him in this time, it was food. But normally, Roost, the reason they struggle this is you're talking about a melee blob unit going in that's going to die inevitably. That's meant to raid you to victory, then maybe look for the main fight win. That's the challenge of Roost Mass Knights in the late game. The stats support a really cool idea. The economy could not. Yeah, and he's just spreading out on farms now. Louis MT at this point is going through the motions. I mean, if he was struggling to hold on with the amount of food income he had before, he's now going to lose probably half of it. So, that means that Wham is one game away from one of his best performances, right? Like, he had King of the Rockies, A-tier land, though. It did not have all the S-tier players there. Winter Team Championship, team environment. Outback Octagon, free-for-all tournament. This would be his best performance in an S-tier tournament. It's a bit of a consolation prize. It's not the first/second he would have liked. Goodness knows, it feels like he deserved a shot at that, of how close the Beastie series was, but props to him for this. He's one game away from locking it in. I mean, for Louis at this point, either a result is a downgrade, right? From the dominant win in the EDC Master Summers. Oh, dominant, maybe not the fairest of words, but any win over Marine Lord feels like it should be called dominant. But now, Wham is the one leading in the domination.